So here is a technique that we have seen before, but the technique is so important and works so very well that I would like to revisit this in a little bit more detail than before. And that is to have a conversation with the group, with the audience. Now, before we get to that conversation with the audience, let's talk about the one-on-one conversation that you are capable of having. Would you have any trouble at all talking to one person in the audience? I hope not. I'm certain you can have a wonderfully good conversation with one person in the group. Now, if you break it down, what does a one-on-one conversation entail? You're talking to a person, you're fully present in the moment, in the situation, you're friendly, you are animated, you are gesturing, throwing your hands up, explaining things. You're having one good time. You're free, you are dynamic, you're looking at how that person is speaking, their facial expressions, you are responding, reciprocating. So a one-on-one conversation is like magic. We have a conversation without having to worry about how we are doing. We are in the moment. Now the question is, what if we can take all the same characteristics and bring it to a group setting? The very same things that you do with a one-on-one conversation, if we can have in a group. So the key here is to be able to learn to hold an one-on-one conversation in a group setting. Learn to hold a one-on-one conversation in a group setting. And here is how you do that. Identify one person in the group that you can focus on. Now, there is always this one person. Either you know that person, or by virtue of having greeted that person in the beginning, you have established a rapport or a connection with this one person. But if neither of them happens, you don't know the person, nor did you greet anybody, there is always somebody in the crowd who is eager to listen to your speech. And this person usually will be leaning forward, will be smiling, will be acknowledging your speeches, nodding his or her head. So focus on that person. Talk to that person. Imagine that your entire speech is going to be addressed to this one person in the audience. And start the conversation. Start the speech like you're speaking to that one person. So as you learn to engage in a dialogue with that one person, your speech starts to flow. You are no longer worried about whether you will do a good job. You are no longer worried about whether there are 100 people or 1,000 people. You are now holding a one-on-one conversation with that one person. Now, once you learn to do that, once you are comfortable with that conversation with that one person, now move on. Move on to the next person. And then move on to the next person, and then move on to the next person, so on and so forth. So the key is to be able to learn to hold a one-on-one conversation with one person at a time, and then replicate it into a group setting. The same things that you would do. Friendly, animated, jovial, gesturing, not having to be conscious, not having to be worrying about if you will do a good job. So having a conversation, that is the key to a good speech and to conquer any fear in public speaking.